This Kyosho was manufactured in 1994, at a time when humanity was advancing at a steadily increasing pace. But for this Ferrari, time stood still. Now before we go back to the future, let's stick around in 1994 for just a couple minutes. Kyosho was able to stay one step ahead of the competition with its GS11X engine, belt-driven all-wheel drive powertrain, 2-speed transmission, and its oil-filled shock suspension system. Alright guys, so let's start restoring this beauty. Now I just want to note that this is not my car. This car belongs to my friend's father. So my goal with this one is really to clean it up as much as I can, but I don't really want to modify it or do anything to potentially damage something. So I now have the car on my workbench and we can start dismantling it. I always, with the Kyosho, start with the top deck. It's the easiest way to do it, so I'm going to get that removed. Alright guys, now that that's out, we can start clearing off the top deck and get it ready for cleaning. So that'll be removing the 2 servos and the fuel tank. And of course, we can't forget young power switch. Alright guys, now that that's all sorted, it's time to send these parts to the cleaners. And if you're wondering, Brayden, where is the motor? Just wait, because I'm getting to it. Now, how I clean these cars is in a bucket or a sink full of the hottest water you can possibly get in there, and soap, detergent. Then I basically just agitate all of the grime with a brush. I have had people advise me against this. That's all good. I know that this method works. I know it doesn't stuff anything if you get the water out really well, okay, and then you re-grease everything and re-oil it. If you don't, of course you're going to have issues. Alright, so I've moved on to the wheels. I hit them with some Tamiya polycarbonate gold paint to bring the life back into them. They definitely needed it. Alright guys, so now finally we're at the engine. This engine was seized. I freed it up with oil and also using a hairdryer to warm up the cylinder. This freighted, I estimate it probably hasn't been started in at least a decade. I also won't be starting this car because it's not mine. I'm just simply restoring it and trying to preserve it. I will say though guys, for me, just having the opportunity to restore this car is, honestly, I do feel very privileged. It is something I really like. Okay, so with the engine put back together, the fuel tank clean, the car clean, we can now start to reassemble everything, get it all pieced back together, and we can also just have a quick look at how well the cleaning went. I mean, I think the results speak for themselves. I'm really happy with it, and I think the owner of this car would be happy with it as well. Alright, so here is the top deck reassembled, fuel tank, servos, and young power switch. This is just reinstalling the top deck and getting everything nice and neat again. I just want to say thank you very much for watching this far. If you're enjoying, please consider subscribing, stick around, and join the Talk Nitro Club. So I have to reuse the header from this exhaust system. However, the tune pipe will be going. I will be fitting a factory Kyosho exhaust to this. Alright, so we're really at the finishing touches now. Installing the exhaust, the engine, the fuel lines, tidying up all the cables. It's coming together quite nicely, I must say. Alright guys, and without further ado, it's time for the reveal.